What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it is episode 321, and it's one of our prestigious Patreon poll-winning episodes. By gar, it's been a while. Every month I give our patrons, shout out to them that gets that reference, by the way. Every month I give our patrons a list of 8 games they've been requesting for the show, and then they vote for a champion, and that champion gets the royal RTG treatment. And I'm a couple months behind on these, but we're going to fix that coming up over the next month or so, okay? Next week, we're hopefully talking about the winner of November's shooter poll, which was Half-Life 2. Great fucking game. I replayed that for the first time in about 20 years over the last week or so. Fuck, man. Where the fuck is Half-Life 3? Where the fuck is Half-Life 3? So we're going to do that hopefully next week. Wild Arms won our December RPG poll, and we're hoping to cover that in February. And this week, we are finally talking about the winner of our PC poll in October, the point-and-click classic, The Secret of Monkey Island. Now, this one is a little tricky because I know how beloved this game is among the point-and-click faithful. I never touched it growing up. I played Zack McCracken, I played King's Quest, I played Maniac Mansion, and I liked them back when I was a lad. But going back to Maniac Mansion for Remember the Game last year, I found like the concept of it very cool, but actually playing it was it's kind of slow, a little tedious and slow for my taste. And I found Monkey Island the same. The humor is on point, no question. I don't know, maybe it's just that I have the attention span of a goldfish. I struggled to get through this one. I did finish it with a walkthrough. I did finish it. And I'm not going to go like scorched earth on it or anything. Just wasn't my flavor of ice cream. It's not feet or anything. It's just kind of, I still don't know what the fucking secret is. Anyway, there was only one guest I could call upon to talk about The Secret of Monkey Island, and that's my childhood friend Daniel, also known as Stupid Monkey. He's a much bigger fan of this game than I am, so we disagreed on a couple of things, but at the same time, The Secret of Monkey Island really does ooze charm, and it's genuinely funny. It made me laugh out loud a few times, and we found some middle ground on those points. And let's face it, these games can be tedious, which we agreed on a little bit as well. So we'll get to all that in just a minute, because speaking of being a little tedious, it's time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. If you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard. Listen, consider this your warning. Our intros are kind of long, but they're fun. We talk video games and stuff, and you don't have to fucking combine a pirate flag with Captain Crunch with cannonball powder or gunpowder, whatever the fuck. Shut up. You don't have to. It's not as complicated to get through as Secret of Monkey Island. If you've played, you fucking know. If you want to skip the intro, go to about the 30-minute mark. You get into game chat. It's fun. I recommend hanging around. We're going to talk video games and stuff. It's a good time. Quickly, plugs. I got to do them. It's how we keep the bills on. All of our merchandise is available at RememberTheGamePodcast.com. Designed by my man Joe from 4545 Creative. Thank you so much, my friend. And of course, the Remember the Game Lifeblood is our Patreon. We publish up to 4 additional podcasts every week. All of our additional shows have no ads. You can listen to them over there, and you can get access for as little as $3 a month. Not only do you get extra shows, you can write into the show, you can vote for the games we cover, you can join our 1,000+ member Discord, and you get instant access to hundreds upon hundreds of archive bonus episodes. And most importantly, you get a shout out and get to hear me mispronounce your name. I don't know if I'm going to mispronounce any of these this week. Famous last words. Let's see. A huge thank you to our newest Patreons, Kevin Obi, it's just AH, all capitals. I don't. It's like actually just someone that goes by AJ, but they're like, no, I'm AH, you fucking dink. Ant-Man 242, Ethan Johnson, Dan Lewis, Daniel Zen, and Maddie Bang. Thank you all so much for the support, and welcome to Remember the Game Industries. You can find that at patreon.com/rememberthegame. Don't forget, there's some free episodes over there that you can just go check out for the low cost of $0. And if you've been thinking about signing up for our Patreon, I really do recommend February, maybe being the month. We run a month-long tournament, the 2025 Pre-March Madness Patreon Poll Tournament Extravaganza, where I take 64 games people have been asking us to cover on the show, and every single day, our Patreons vote on a couple of matchups as we whittle it down to one champion. Last year, Beautiful Joe came out on top and got an episode of Remember the Game, and I can't wait to see what takes down the 2025 edition. That starts on February 1st. And if you sign up for an annual subscription, you get 12 months free. Okay, that's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. Oh yeah, and don't forget, if you're a patron, sorry, one last thing. If you're a patron, the 5th annual Blankies are going live tomorrow. This Thursday, January 23rd, we'll name the winner of the Molly for Game of the Year, a bunch of other awards. There's comedy skits. It's a good time. All right. That's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons. They're usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow. Our first blower this week is Fickle Chris, who said, Sir Adam Blank, hope you are all well. Thank you. Sir Adam Blank. I like the sound of that. I am well. I am new to the family and loving the content. I've been enjoying the January sales. I've been adding plenty of games to my backlog. My favorite right now is The Messenger. And let me tell you, I am balls deep and loving every minute. That soundtrack is off the chain. Do people still say that? Did they ever? My question to you, have you scooped anything up over the past month? And if so, what do you recommend? Thanks for all your hard work, man. Keep it coming. Thank you, Fickle Chris, for the support and good pick on The Messenger. I am going to sing that game's praises until I am dead in the ground. If you like games like Ninja Gaiden, The Messenger is a must-play. It's always on sale for like fucking $6. And there's a JRPG that's tied into the universe called Sea of Stars, which is one of the best RPGs I've ever played in my entire life. Fuck yeah. I didn't pick up during like the Christmas sales and everything. I scooped Avowed, or pardon me, not Avowed. That's coming up February 18th. I picked up Redacted, which I still haven't played yet. It's like a isometric shooter set in the world of the Callisto Protocol, but it's like a whole different like looking game. And I liked the concept of Callisto Protocol a lot. I just thought the combat sucked. So I'm pretty excited to try that one. Other than that, the only other new game I've bought lately is Donkey Kong Country Returns HD for the Switch, because I'm Adam Part of the Problem Blank. I fucking love platformers. That is a great game. I'm going to tell everybody right now, that game's getting a review on Remember the Game in February, because it was originally a Wii game. So I feel like it's old enough that I can get away with reviewing it. I love Donkey Kong Country Returns. And other than that, I'm kind of just working on the backlog. I really want to get Indiana Jones and the Great Circle done. I really want to get Stalker 2 done. I like Stellar Blade, but I don't, at this point, I have a feeling it's going to get dropped. There's just so much time, and I'm trying to get as many games out of the way as I can, because there's nothing else coming out that I'm interested in until Avowed on February 18th, which I'm looking forward to trying. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what I picked up. Good call on The Messenger. Fucking game owns. If you're a Patreon, which you are now, I highly recommend checking out I think there's an episode where I did my top 10 indie games. There's like, buddy, Slay the Spire, Into the Breach, Hollow Knight, The Messenger, Celeste, all games you've all heard me talk about a million times, all brilliant and all pennies on the dollar compared to the big AAA games this year, or these days. Freshman 15 Davey said, Yo, Andy, long-time listener, first-time blower. I've heard you sing the praises of BioShock 1 so many times, but only mentioned the other two entries in passing. What are your thoughts on BioShock 2, and more importantly, BioShock Infinite? I, for one, love Infinite, and I think it gets unwarranted hate. Like you say about The Last of Us, Infinite's only crime is that it isn't BioShock 1. Stoked you're back and refreshed, dude. Thanks, Davey. I'm feeling good. You know what? I'm going to be honest, buddy. You're right. I fucking adore BioShock 1. I think it's one of the best games ever made. There's Remember the Game on it. Go listen to it. It's awesome. I've only ever played BioShock 2 and BioShock Infinite once each, and that was when they first came out. I did a playthrough of them. I remember liking both of them, not as much as BioShock 1. I do remember not loving the sky setting for BioShock Infinite, but there's a lot of modern games that I know, like, I would love to do an episode on BioShock 2, BioShock Infinite, Gears 2, Halo 3. There's a lot of like more modern games that I know people would like reviews of that I haven't played them since they came out, and I played them once. So I need to go back and do it again. But I don't remember any of the BioShock games leaving a bad taste in my mouth. Just none of them were the first one. And I really prefer the underwater setting to the sky. But yeah, 100% BioShock 2 and Infinite will get episodes eventually. No hate. No hate. That I can remember. I don't know. Maybe I'll replay them and be like, this fucking sucks. But I don't remember them being bad at all. Oh, and if you haven't played it, for the love of God, play BioShock 1. You're welcome. Fuck, that game's awesome. Ocelot of Woe said, maybe I missed this on a previous episode, but how do you manage playing the various games for your show? You seem to be working on an average of 3 games at a time, and I'm wondering if you stick with one until done or you bounce around. Buddy, I bounce like a fucking tennis ball hooker. Yes, that'll work. I bounce like crazy. I can't just play one game. It's very rare that one game just gets its claws into me so deep that everything else gets put on the backlog. I'm always playing 2 or 3 games for the show, and then usually at least one modern game for me, and then usually at least one like sports game or time waster. That's just kind of when I want to space out. Like, I mean, we'll get to it when we get to the what I'm playing section right now, but I think I'm juggling about 6 games right now. As far as how do I manage, like, I don't know, it's my job. it is now. Like, it is my job now. So I kind of don't have a choice. But that's why, like, if a game I'm playing, like, really, like I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to put my cards on the table. Like, Secret of Monkey Island, I did not really enjoy it all that much. We're going to get into it. I couldn't just play it. Like, I'd play it for an hour, and then I'd be like, I got to fucking do something else. Half-Life 2, I played obsessively for a few days because I love that game so much. But then I'm also, like I said, I want to get Indiana Jones done for a modern game review. I want to get Stalker 2 done for a modern game review. I might go back to Stellar Blade. I haven't decided. Now I'm playing Donkey Kong. I'm working my way through the old Mega Mans. I'm slowly replaying The Last of Us Part 2 to get ready for that upcoming episode. I guess I've already done the What Am I Playing section of the show. But, like, I just try to mix up genres a little bit and just, I don't know. I just love video games. So I try to play a little bit of everything. And, yeah, it's my job. So, Izzy08 said, hey, Adam, most of the games I play are single player, but lately I've been getting more into the online multiplayer games like Splatoon and Final Fantasy XIV. However, I often get really nervous when it comes to actually playing with random people online. As someone who I assume is more into single player games, do you ever get anxious playing with randos online? And if so, how do you cope? Thanks and all the best for 2025. Buddy, I am like 85, 90% single player. I always joke, I don't have any friends. That's why, like, people have been like, why don't you review Call of Duty? Because this is my first one. Like, I don't play online anything, really. When I do play online, I prefer games with no voice chat. Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, Mario Party. I know COD has voice chat, but I don't use it. I have been called some pretty mean things, but it's been not as bad as I expected it to be. I am starting to get more into multiplayer games, frankly, as time is going on a little bit. But I don't get anxious. I don't really give a fuck. I don't like to talk to people, frankly, so I just don't. I never have my headset on. Like, if I'm playing Mario Party in the Discord or something, I'll hop into the voice chat or Among Us and talk with people. But when I'm just playing with random strangers, if they want to talk shit about me, I just laugh at them. And otherwise, I just turn my headset off and I'm like, they don't know idea who I am or where I am. So fuck them. I'll play my game and laugh at their insults. Or cry a little, because some of them are... I've learned some things about my mom since I started playing Call of Duty, I promise. But no, I don't know. Just don't let them bother you. Who gives a fuck? Fuck them. It's not like you're sitting there in a room with them actually shooting people. You don't know who the fuck they are. And if you have to... I don't know. I don't know how Final Fantasy 14 works. Maybe you have to talk to people in that one. Then just be whoever you want. Make up a character. Be... Instead of being Izzy08, be fucking Herman232. And I'm a... mute dwarf from the faraway land of Canstar, and I'm here to reclaim my chocobo in the name of her good graces. See, people will stop talking to you after that. The Archmage said, I was listening to your Sea of Stars review. See, I told you. And you mentioned not 100%ing the game. Did you go back and do everything? I thought I remembered you saying you did. I did, and I loved going through everything in that game, which got me to thinking, what other games do you 100%? And which games do you recommend doing everything the game has to offer? I did not. I got the second ending in Sea of Stars, or the true ending or whatever, but I don't remember going back and doing I did as much as I could on my playthrough, but I don't remember going back to get anything. I fucking could probably count on one hand. Outside of, like, I like doing every level. Like, I'm gonna 200% Donkey Kong Country Returns. Like, I like doing that kind of stuff. I 100%ed Spider-Man 2, but I didn't get all the trophies. I just got everything in the game. I'm not a big 100%er. I just, like, if I'm really into it, usually if it's a platformer, I'll beat every level. But otherwise, like, I just look for as much as I can while I'm playing, and I think part of it is part of doing it for a living. I'm like, I really don't have time to spend an extra 10 hours going back and looking for collectibles or whatever the fuck, or trophies, when that 10 hours I could finish off another game or two for the show. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if I can even recommend games 100%, because I just don't do it very much. I beat them and get as much as I can on an honest playthrough, and usually just call it a day. Hey yo, Chico said, hey yo, excuse me, hey yo. Long-time listener here. I always enjoy listening to your podcast throughout the day. I doubt you're familiar with the series, but I think Splatterhouse 3 is definitely worth giving a shot on the Genesis. That was my introduction to gory horror games as a kid, and it made me instantly fall in love with the genre, as it's also a side-scrolling beat-em-up. Keep up the good work. Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do. Gah. Rest in peace, Scott Hall. Good comment, Chico. I want to say Splatterhouse 3 is near, well, the Splatterhouse franchise, I don't know which game in particular, but Splatterhouse is near the top of my Genesis want to play this year list. I think Shining Force 2 is probably the number one Genesis game I really want to play. I still want to get to Comic Zone. I'm interested in more platformers, and then I've been hearing a lot about Splatterhouse. So I definitely want to get to a Splatterhouse game this year. And you recommend 3, hey? Anyone that likes Scott Hall has good taste. So, and finally, before we move on, it's letter time. It's letter time. Idolized Crumble said, hello, Mr. Blank. I hope you're well. Firstly, love the podcast and thanks for all the great work you do. Thank you very much. I was recently listening to the Super Mario Kart Revisited episode, and in there, your guest Kate guessed that Mario Kart 9 would launch with the Switch 2. Great guess, but my question is, what franchise do you think they will have next? Mario, Zelda, Animal Crossing, Metroid, or something new? I brought this up because, like, we got into the Mario, or the Switch 2 reveal in a lot more detail over on the old Game Patch this week, but I don't expect everybody to pay for my stupid shows to hear what I think of the Switch 2 reveal. I thought it was great. I thought it was exactly what we all expected it to be. I'm kind of a little bit confused by those that are upset with the reveal. I get if you're like, I wanted more from the reveal, I get that. But if you were just like, the Switch 2 looks like a piece of shit, I don't know what else you expected. Nintendo's been like, everyone knew it was going to just be a bigger Switch, and that's what we're getting. As far as Mario Kart 9 being a launch title, yeah, I've been guessing for years as well. Like, it's pretty documented. I think most people thought Mario Kart 9 would be, if not a launch, a near launch title. I'm so excited. Mario Kart 8's the best-selling game on the Switch and one of the best-selling games of all time. It only makes sense. We haven't gotten a new one since the Wii U. Mario Kart fucking owns. Everybody plays it. Fucking drop it with the launch. I can't wait. I'll be buying one day one. As far as your question, which franchise do I think they'll have next? Mario, Zelda, Animal Crossing, Metroid, or something new? I don't think we get a new Zelda for a while. Tears of the Kingdom was only a year ago. I think, I think we get an Ocarina of Time remake at some point, but I don't think we're getting a brand new. Plus, we just got Echoes of Wisdom, like what? 4 months ago. So I don't think we're getting a new Zelda for a while. Animal Crossing will probably get one, but I don't think that's big enough to move the needle as a launch title. I know some are predicting Metroid Prime 4 as a launch title, and I'm totally down with it. I don't think, and I love Metroid, but I don't think that she can carry, like Samus, I don't think she can carry the launch of that system. I don't think Metroid Prime 4 moves the needle, but if you're dropping Mario Kart 9 as a launch, you can fucking put anything else you want there, and you're going to sell systems because Mario Kart's there. So Metroid, I think, is coming. We know that Metroid is coming. I think we get a new Mario. We haven't gotten a new Mario since Odyssey, other than Wonder, I guess, but like a new 3D Mario. And Odyssey was the fucking first year title on the Switch, so it's been quite a long time. So I think at launch we get Mario Kart 9, and then we either get a new Donkey Kong or a new Mario. And just because you're putting the bullet to my head or the gun to my head and saying what do you think we see next, I'm going to say a new Mario. I think Mario. No. I'm going to backtrack that. I'm going to say a new Donkey Kong. I'm going to say Mario Kart 9 and a new Donkey Kong Country are launch titles for the Switch. And then we get a Mario closer to Christmas. Because why put all your eggs in that? Like, you're going to sell with Mario Kart 9 off the hop, get them out there, and then release a new Mario in like November or some shit. And profits. So those are, if we're not, like Pokemon, I think probably beats a lot of those in two because we know there's new Pokemon coming, but I'm not counting that. I think we get Donkey Kong and then we get Mario. That's my prediction. Can't wait. April 2nd. Fucking bring it on. I want more Switch 2 news. Fuck yeah. Anyway, thank you for all the submissions as always. We need to keep this ball rolling. We're running behind. So let's switch things up and get to our Smash Hit segment, the official game show of Remember the Game Industries. Play one, remake one, erase one. The rules are simple. Every week I give our listeners 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. And as always, there's no wrong answers, but there is a right one. We'll get to that in a minute. This week we're talking to Secret of Monkey Island, so I went with 3 classic PC games. We have Day of the Tentacle, King's Quest VI, and Sam and Max Hit the Road. And this was a close vote. 31%, I just punched my microphone. 31% said play Tentacle, remake Sam and Max, erase King's Quest VI. Let's see what a few of you had to say here, and then I'll tell you what the right answer was. Devil's Cry 007 said Day of the Tentacle is perfect as it is. Play it, don't change a thing. Remake Sam and Max, it's good, could do. Oh, it's good. Could do with a little spit shine and advertising to get some eyes on it. King's Quest, rules is rules. Thanks for coming. We'll be in touch. I'm not going to argue with, like, there's honestly not an order I'm going to argue with this week. I just, like, does anyone, what is the last, is King's Quest 6 the last King's Quest? I'm going to Google it, because if I don't, I'll get fucking a ton of messages. Oh, well, actually, there was a King's Quest mobile game that was released in fucking China for 6 months. That was really good, I guess. I played King's Quest 5 and King's Quest 6 a lot growing up. Oh, Jesus Christ. King's Quest 7, King's Quest Mask of Eternity, King's Quest an episodical reimagining. That was the last one. Okay. All right. So it's been a while. I do feel like King's Quest is the oddball in this one. I feel like people don't know what King's Quest is well. Andrew Pritchett said, yoo-hoo, Mr. Tentacle Guy, here's my answer. Played King's Quest 6. That game randomly showed up at my house right after we got our first PC, and I was not ready for that kind of puzzle solving, so I never got very far. I'm playing it. Remake Day of the Tentacle with upscaled but throwback graphics, new jokes, fan service, and adding more characters from Maniac Mansion. Sam and Max, I'm sorry, but you got to hit the road. I feel like Day of the Tentacle's got a little bit of an unfair advantage because it's attached to Maniac Mansion, which so many love, but people love Sam and Max. And people like Kings, don't they? In a way. Chronolingua said, play Sam and Max, one of the funniest games I've ever played. Remake Day of the Tentacle because it could use a full overhaul and the whole Maniac Mansion IP for that matter, which unfortunately leaves King's Quest in the dust. It's a foundational series for sure, but it belongs in the past. It's hot. Jeremy's Iron said, Play Tentacle has been sitting in my Steam Deck library for months and I've yet to fire it up, and I'm a huge fan of Maniac Mansion. Remake King's Quest 6, as this is easily one of my top 10 games of all time, and I'd love to see with a fresh coat of paint, perhaps in the style of a Telltale game. Erase Sam and Max because, well, I never played it. One's got to go. King's Quest 6 is one of your top 10 games of all time. That's fascinating, Jeremy's Iron. Fascinating. Hot take. Steve Powers said, man, so many good memories grinding these games, plus Full Throttle, plus Legend of Crenagi, France. I chose to play Day of the Tentacle. There's a charm in the style, and I think it lasts. Remake Sam and Max. Haven't played any of the more recent episodes released on modern systems, but I remember having a blast with it, and remaking it as more of an adventure instead of point and click would work. Agreed. And delete King's Quest. Haven't played it, but read the synopsis of it, and it seems borative relative to Day of the Tentacle and Sam and Max. Technically, it says Day of the Tentacle at S&M. I will agree, all these games are kind of boring compared to S&M. I'm actually going to go with the majority this week. 31% of you got it right, as did Diablo Spartan, who said, play Day of the Tentacle as it's perfect as it is and the best experience in its original state. Remake Sam and Max. It's a great game with a lot of humor, but a fresh coat of paint and a modern tune-up would do wonders. And then erase King's Quest 6. There's nothing wrong with it. There's just 5 before it to fill the void. I never even thought of that. That's a good point. It's like Mega Man. People always erase Mega Man in these because there's like 900 others. And I'm like, you're right, but fuck. I'm going to play Day of the Tentacle because I haven't, and I do think it looks funny. Maniac Mansion is funny. Day of the Tentacle is probably funny. So I'm going to play that. I'm going to remake Sam and Max because of these 3 games, it's the one that appeals to me the most, and I'd like to see it remade, as was mentioned, as an adventure game instead of a point and click or whatever the fuck it is. I've never played Sam and Max. They look quite funny. And I'm going to erase King's Quest 6 because I've played it a ton growing up. It was too hard. Those gnomes kept killing me. Pissed me off. I'm good. That game fucking traumatized me. I'm still scared of gnomes because of that game. Anyway, thanks everyone. We're going to skip the what have I been playing section because I already told you all during blowing in the cartridge. I don't need to rehash that. So let's skip out here. We'll let a sponsor in there to peddle their wares. And when we get back, it's all about the unknown secret of Monkey Island. We'll be right back after this. We've had some great partners over the years here at Remember the Game, but I don't know if any of them have hit home for me quite like Hometown Hero does. No pun intended. Don't start. It's a transparent, honest cannabis company that helps people and gives back to those that have served their country at the same time. I mean, come on. As soon as I read about these guys, I knew I wanted to work with them. Hometown Hero is a cannabis company out of Austin, Texas, and they were founded back in 2015 by a U.S. veteran. They have 2 goals: create premium hemp products that can help everyone, and to support veterans by donating a portion of those profits to organizations set up to take care of those who have served. Hometown Hero products are of the highest quality, and everything they offer is made right there in the U.S. of A. Gummies, caramels, chocolates, drink mix. There's something for everyone. And what's more, their hemp is grown locally in Texas, which is something they should and do take a lot of pride in. And they offer certificates of analysis for everything they sell because they want to be clear that their products are as advertised, both in terms of potency and ingredients. No contaminants, you get what you pay for. Just how they conduct business is enough to get my good eyes' attention. But when you circle back to the fact that the company was founded by a veteran and they put such heavy emphasis on supporting veterans, this isn't just lip service. I'm not reading a script I was given here. I'm proud to have Hometown Hero associated with Remember the Game. Reclaim your evening. Visit hometownhero.com and use code RTG to take 20% off your first purchase. That's hometownhero.com, code RTG for 20% off your first purchase. This is an ad by BetterHelp. A band once said, "Work sucks, I know." And I think most people agree with them. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress from their jobs. And while walking away from your job might not be an option, taking a little time every day to focus on yourself and your mental health can make a huge difference. I know in the summer I try to get outside every day, get a little bit of sun, and just enjoy the outdoors. It really helps. At least until my allergies attack, and then it's ugly. It's important to take steps to combat work stress, and therapy can be a huge one. It's not just for overcoming trauma. Therapy can help you define work goals, set some work boundaries, develop coping skills. It's like a cheat code for life. And if you're thinking, man, I'm too busy for therapy, well, look into BetterHelp. They make therapy as convenient as possible. You can meet with one of their over 30,000 therapists online and on your schedule, just like over 5 million people around the world already have done. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/rememberthegame. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. All right, let's talk a little Secret of Monkey Island. As always, I like to let you nerds sound off on the game we're covering before my guest and I hog the microphone, and we had no shortage of Monkey Island ball washers this week. Holy fuck, people love this game. Not everybody. Mr. Hooley said, maybe this episode will make me want to give this game a try. I'm playing my first point and click right now, Broken Age, and I've been highly enjoying the experience. I may need to dive deeper into the genre. I'm not going to sit here and say that Secret of Monkey Island is the greatest point and click game of all time, because the only ones I've played are this Maniac Mansion and Zack McCracken, basically. But I will say that this game is pretty fucking beloved. So if you're a point and click fan now, I feel like Secret of Monkey Island is one of those like must plays if you're into the old P&C games. Johnny from Virginia said, Adam, I can't believe this episode is actually happening. I grew up in the apex of point and click era, and these games hold a special place in my heart. I know it's a relic of its time, and you're probably not going to be gushing over anything on the episode today, but Monkey Island had such a meta self-awareness that was ahead of its time. It was silly, the puzzles were ridiculous, but man, stuff like pirate, insults, grog, and chicken with a pulley are phrases that stay in my head rent-free just as much as that awesome title music. Even if you're about to poo-poo all over my yum-yum, I am absolutely here for it. That's on my OnlyFans, Johnny. You gotta find that shit. I charge for that. Mercury869 said, I first played these as an adult and they're such great fun. Stan is the best salesman ever. LeChuck is an amazing bad guy. And Guybrush, well, he's Guybrush. When Sea of Thieves did the crossover with Monkey Island, I fell in love all over again. See, Sea of Thieves is still relevant. Or pardon me, Sea of Thieves. No, the fucking big popular online pirate game is relevant. You fucking idiot. Secret of Monkey Island. Monkey Island. Did they just make a new Monkey Island? Like, those games are still relevant. Sea of Thieves is drawn from them. Fucking idiot. Matteo said, when I first got a PC in 95, my friend let me borrow this and I fell in love instantly. I always loved tropical vibes, pirate tales, and good humor. This game has it all, plus awesome music as such a vibe itself. The humor was actually quite formative for me, and whilst it's a product of its time and perhaps hard to appreciate now, it's one of my top 3 all-time favorite games. It may be an old-school adventure game fan, and is one of the few games I will happily replay every couple of years. A cherished classic. And that's why, and I think I say it in the episode, but I really think, maybe I'm wrong, but I truly feel these games, nostalgia is the secret spice. Because I mean, maybe not, because like fucking Mercury said they played as an adult, loved it. Maybe I just don't have the attention span. Hey, listen, before everybody writes in, I like Bart versus the Space Mutants, so I know a thing or two about liking games that other people hate. And nobody else seems to hate Secret of Monkey Island. I'm the one that didn't seem to get it. Well, and SNES Life. SNES Life said, this game confused me so much as a kid. Puzzles that made no sense. I can respect it as an adult who finally beat it, but sometimes adventure games were their own worst enemies. I agree, buddy. There were some puzzles in this game where I was like, am I so out of touch? And then I was like, no, this is just fucking asinine. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that right now with Stupid Monkey. I'm going to cue up some of the music, y'all. The music is pretty good. I'm going to cue up some music. And when it stops, we're going to go back to October of 1990 and review The Secret of Monkey Island. Enjoy the podcast, everybody. Let's go. Oh, I should have said click enjoy and then podcast, and then they would be like, I don't know how that works. Like, it's a stupid joke. Yeah, shut up. Enjoy the show. All right, joining me via the blank phone on this Thursday morning. You're the only guest I have where we routinely do these morning episodes, and I'm a morning guy, so it doesn't bother me. It just feels like it's so weird for my routine. Joining me via the blank phone to talk The Secret of Monkey Island is Stupid Monkey, my buddy Daniel. How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good, buddy. How about you?
I'm all right. I got a coffee. Sun's up. Every day is a gift, or so they say. So they say. It is, but like, there are days where you're like, I wish I could return this fucking gift.
I was going to say, yeah, every day might be a gift, but they're not always the gift that, came with a lot of thought.
Yeah, but no, I'm good. Feeling good. In a good mood today. I'm ready to talk about this game. I was saying to you off air before we started, I'm ready to put this game behind me. And I don't mean it in the sense of like, Secret Monkey Island is the shittiest game I ever. It's not that. I infamously called Alien Isolation feet. In that this game is not feet. This game doesn't disgust me. It's so when I apologize. You were my guest for Maniac Mansion, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry. There's so many episodes now. I can't remember who was on what, but we played Maniac Mansion growing up, and I thought it was like a fun game to like dink around with. I was never going to beat it, but it was fun to like mess around with. Going back to it for the show, and I was like, this was more fun when I was a kid. I never played Secret of Monkey Island growing up, but I have to say, same thing. I see the brilliance behind it. I don't think it's bad, but I think at 41, I just don't know how much point and click games do it for me.
No, they've never really been your thing. Like even when we were kids, like we played around with them, but it was always we'd play around with them, and you'd always be happy to go back to Mario or something.
Well,
they've never been your jam.
As like, there's something like when I was a little, like playing them as a kid, it was just fun to be on the computer. It was like, you know what I'm like, my mom and dad would let me use our computer often. So when it was like, hey, I'm playing with the computer. This was for you younger listeners. This predates the PC Master Racer. This was just, holy shit, you have a PC, because not everyone even had a computer back then. But playing them now, like I love puzzles. Like I love escape rooms and that kind of stuff. And so like this kind of should be up my alley, but I'm curious if I'm just dumb. I just feel like, well, some of the puzzles are really clever. There is a lot of just randomly combining things and trying things until something hits. Or am I just stupid?
No.
And don't be afraid to call me stupid. I am dumb.
Oh, I've never been afraid to call you stupid. But in this particular case, you're right. And it's not... It was the mechanic of the time, and we mentioned it a few times on the Maniac Mansion episode, except for that one it worked because there was multiple outcomes, whereas this one doesn't have that to kind of balance that out.
Yeah, I will say I do prefer Maniac Mansion. Yeah. This one just like I'll be honest, like I used a walkthrough for parts of it. I think I think anybody could beat this game with enough patience, but I honestly felt like some of the puzzles I was never going to. The only way I ever would have solved them would have just been to keep clicking and clicking and clicking until I like, oh, there we go. You know what I mean? Like, but then once you solve them, there were very few that I was like, that. It's not that doesn't make sense. It's just such an obtuse combination of clicks. If that,
there's
you know
a few
what I mean?
things, and there's things where I'm like, I was sure I clicked on this, but I was 6 millimeters off to the left, so it didn't register.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's also like, I think this is modern games today. Like we're so spoiled by games today where everything you can interact with is like highlighted or it has like a shim to it or something.
Yeah.
And this does not. This is like, even with the walkthrough, I had to use it a couple of points. There was, especially near the end when you're at the, when you're looking for the fort on Monkey Island, I'm like, I couldn't figure out where to go. So then I brought up a walkthrough and then it said, go to the west and then click on the fort. And I go to the west and it still took me like a minute of like just moving my cursor around the screen, being like, where in the fuck is the fort? And then finally like the words popped up. So I also think that like they probably kind of had to do that to extend the length, much like NES games were hard for the sake of extending the length, because otherwise, like probably beating this game in about 3 hours if you know where everything is and what to do.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd say about that.
and like you said, there's not a lot of. I mean, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't see multiple paths through this game.
No, I if there is, I completely missed them.
Yeah, like
Both when I played this as a kid and when I replayed it again now.
yeah, like there's not multiple endings, there's not multiple characters to pick from or anything like that. It's you're basically following, like you can do things especially at the beginning of the game when you're on Melee Island. Is that what it's, Melee Island?
I believe so. Yeah.
You can do things in kind of a different order. Like you can go fight the Swordmaster first, or go to the fair and get shot out of the cannon first, or whatever the fuck. But there's really only, like, at the end of the day, there's one path to the end of the end of the game. That said, like, because I don't want everyone to think I just hate it. The humor is on point. I will give it that. This is a funny. There were multiple times that genuinely made me laugh. Like for a 35-year-old game, like some of the humor is aged really well.
Yeah, I was surprised. There's like none of the jokes felt like they were, well, this was the joke that made sense 30 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. There was one, I think the thing that made me laugh the hardest this game was when you have to, which by the way, I don't know. The first thing I had to look up was how to get past the piranha dogs. And I had meat, and I'm like, how the fuck do I give them the meat and they just eat the meat and then they keep trying to eat me. And then it was like going to and I had the plant, but I never thought to sprinkle the plant on the meat. And I'm like, did I just miss it somewhere where they said that this, like, I know that dogs can't eat certain plants, but I never would have, like, that's a deep pull for a game that kids were playing. Did they say that somewhere and I was just missed it?
I don't know if they tried it. I kept trying to do something with the meat. I thought you needed it somewhere else. I forget what. So I kept trying. So I had it seasoned before I got to the dogs. Although what threw me off is the first time I did it, it didn't put the dogs to sleep, and then I ended up trying it again because I just things that worked, don't work the first time. I've tried them again a few times in this, and sometimes they work then, and I can never tell what I did different.
Yeah, same here. I just sometimes it feels like you just have to be at like this a certain point of the game.
Yeah.
And then things will work, right?
Yeah.
But that was, I think, the thing that made me laugh the hardest was you give the meat with the plants on it to these dogs, and they eat it, and they all go down, and then this like warning pops up and says they are sleeping. No dogs were harmed during the making of this game. And then even later on in the game, I think you're in the governor's mansion, and that sheriff guy's yelling at you, and you're like, they're sleeping. And I don't know, it just that like stuff like that. I was like, the humor is on point. It's a charming game. It is charming. It's just, I don't know. Where are you? You like this game more than me. Like, am I like?
Well, I mean, it's got monkey in the title, so really, it's
sure. What is the secret of the island?
That's the running joke, is that they don't, and even in the sequels, and I haven't actually played all the sequels. I've played a bits of the second one. I don't think you ever actually find out what the actual secret is. I think that's part of the running joke.
I was like, is the secret that ghosts are allergic to root beer?
That was one of those things that was hilarious. Like that's like the extract of this, the root of this thing is that, and it takes a second before you click in that, it's root beer.
Yeah, those cannibals were actually pretty funny as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When they're debating about whether or not they're going to eat you, and they're like, you know how much cholesterol is in that thing and stuff like that. They're like just talking about it right in front of you, and you're just like, and the whole time, Guybrush is like just like not oblivious, but he just looks like, it almost feels like fourth wall breaking, where he's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. Like there is a whole lot of fourth wall breaking. There's lots of times where something happens and everybody just looks at the camera.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. So getting back to it, like I don't hate it. I just thought like the gameplay itself was charming. It's just, I don't know how I ever would have solved some of these puzzles. I guess without the repetitive nature of the trial and error and the clicking. You're a bigger fan than me. Like, am I like where like what do you like about this? Like, it's
the humor is one. I mean, the humor is a big one. It's what keeps always keeps you invested in these games. I like point and click ones. Like they're very much turn off at least part of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And
they
this
are.
one, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's
I
they're I- they're fun for me, but they're very much a not for everybody.
Yeah, I don't think I could like so many people when this won the PC poll, I think. Yeah, it did
I
because
believe
Half-Life
so.
won the
Yeah.
shooter poll. Yeah, this won the PC poll. When it won, so many people were stoked about it, and I knew nothing of it other than it was a point and click, and I was like, all right, well, I guess we'll see. And I it's so weird because like there's such simple games, like anyone could like you don't even really know how to play. You don't even need like you can't give like I don't know. What's an example? Like you can't give The Legend of Zelda to someone that doesn't know how to play video games, has never played a video game, and be like, play this. But like, I feel like this one you kind of could because it's it's a stupid compare, but it's almost like a crossword puzzle video game or like a logic puzzle video game. It is literally just a puzzle. Like there's no outside of I don't know at the very end when you pick up the bottle of root beer and spray the pirate. I don't know if that's got like a timer on it where you'll die if you don't spray him fast enough or
There's
not.
only one part in this entire game where you can die, and
Is it there?
it's a throwback. No, it's not there. At the beginning, when somebody says, "Do you have any special skills?" and he says, "I can hold my breath for 10 minutes." The part where you get shackled to the ball and chain and thrown off.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you wait 10 minutes, then he'll drown.
Oh, see,
But otherwise,
that was another one that made me laugh, and that actually genuinely made me chuckle because that guy, the governor or whatever, he ties you to that statue and throws you in the water, and he's like, "Wah." And then Guybrush is literally just staring at the camera, and then you just pick up the statue and walk out of the water, like
yeah,
he's like, "I'm underwater. This thing weighs like 3 ounces. What the fuck's wrong with you?" That was funny.
yeah,
Okay, but okay, so then there you go. So like if you can't die, that's what I think like the accessibility of this game is probably part of the appeal to everyone. Like a lot of people said they played it as kids or they've played it with their kids. And I do understand that simplicity. And I said I love puzzle games. I just get I don't know if frustrated is the word, but I get turned off by puzzle games a little bit where I trying to think of like an example. Like, did you ever play The Witness?
yep.
Yeah, like I think that is maybe the greatest puzzle game ever made.
It's
But
definitely up there.
you can't just like click 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 and fumble your way through that.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm does that make do you know what I'm saying?
yeah. I think I get it. You can't. You could stumble across how to solve some of these ones. Like you could just like I don't know what I do here, but these are the items I haven't used yet, and try everything. You can't
Yeah.
really do that in games like The Witness. You actually have to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, and that's where like I think I prefer like a puzzle like that where as opposed to like it's the same as like have you ever played the Ace Attorney games?
Yep.
Someone suggested them to me because I love puzzles, and I kind of to an extent they kind of hit the same as Monkey Island where I felt like if you just keep clicking you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
And it's just personal I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just I think that's where Monkey Island lost me for a lot of it was I felt like it was less about trying to solve an elaborate puzzle and more about just randomly clicking until something worked.
Yeah. Now that being said, there's that euphoria feeling when you do actually solve the puzzle in this.
Agreed.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is pretty good.
There's a few of them where I solved them and I was like, oh my God, fuck yeah, I got it. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was other ones where I just was like, I never in a million years would have found this. And honestly, like the biggest roadblock to me was just not being able to figure out in some instances what I could click on. Now I played the like I bought the version off Steam that has like the remake with the new graphics.
Yeah.
But I played the entire version in the original or the old version. Have you played is the remake, Eddie? Have you played it at all?
The remake was the one that I played.
Okay. Does it do anything to like highlight anything you can interact with or anything? Or is it literally the same just with a facelift?
No, it's just the same with the facelift, near as I could tell.
Okay. That was I don't know. I'm trying to
always one of my issues too is, I wish more of them would do kind of like you remember, how in old cartoons you could always tell when something was going to be there because it wasn't. Yeah. I wish more of them had that. And I know newer point and clicks, a lot of times, like if you would hit tab, it would highlight different things you could click on.
Sure.
But yeah, like this one doesn't do that, and there's definitely a whole lot of randomly clicking until you try to find something.
And that was one of the problems I'd run into is like sometimes as soon as I could not figure out a puzzle, and then all of a sudden I'd realize like trying to get the fish away from the bird on the dock, and I could not get that fish away from that fucking bird, and then I finally realized there was a loose board there, and I just never realized there was a loose board there, and maybe that's on me for not just scrolling the whole screen with my mouse, the cursor, and to find it. But once I figured out there's a loose board, I was like, for fuck's sakes. Because here I am, like, trying to use every item I have on the bird and trying to just pick this fish up and, like, doing everything I can to get this thing away from the bird, which I don't remember what the fish did. I don't remember if I needed the fish. But I just wanted it. Like, that's one of these things about these games is, like, and you're right. Going back to your point about how good it feels when you solve a puzzle, it even feels good when you just find something new.
Yeah.
It feels like getting a side in a Rubik's Cube. You're like, oh, I got something. Let's go. Like it's like a breadcrumb to just keep you moving along with the storyline. Just something. It's that was where I'd get frustrated is when I couldn't figure out a new combo with my items and I couldn't find something new to interact with, and I knew I was missing something.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I think the first half of this, when you're on Melee Island and you've got multiple things to do, if you're stuck on one part, you could at least go and work on something else. The second half, it's much more linear, and so you don't have that. It's like if you're stuck, you're stuck.
Yeah, I'll agree. I much enjoyed Melee Island more than Monkey Island.
Agreed.
I felt like half of Monkey Island is spent just canoeing around this fucking island.
Yeah.
And that I will give them credit near the end when you find the ghost ship down in the catacombs and then you have to leave. It just fast travels you. That I was like, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was so expecting, especially because like the head, if you mess around with the head, he makes the comment is, "You need me to get out of here," and like, do I? Because I don't really want to. And yeah, you don't. It just skips it off.
Yeah, I like the verbiage when the head is like, he's like, "Without me, you're not getting out of here," and then you could click the option of like, "I could just punt you into that lava right now," and he's like, "Fair enough, take my necklace."
Yeah.
Or something like that. Shit like that. I'll also shout out to the boat salesman, who's actually my favorite character in the game.
the greasiest ass salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid hat that he has on, and he's always tapping his foot like he's just like humped up on coffee while he's talking to you.
Yeah.
And
he's got that really like caricature salesman voice.
Yeah.
He was great.
Even his like boat dealership, like there's one that said what was like, I don't know if it said price to sell or something, but it was like sinking. Yeah. And like some like everything about his dealership made me chuckle. The only thing I didn't like about his dealership was maybe I just kept clicking the wrong conversation options, but the negotiating with him over the price of your boat went on forever. Maybe I was just clicking wrong, but because I could tell it, like at some point he's clearly going to sell it to me for 5,000.
Yeah.
Because I stole
it. I had the same thing, and I wasn't sure if I needed something else, but I was also, I think that I did that part like one of the times I came home from work. So it's just like, I'm just going to keep clicking on things until I'm tired, and then I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah. And that's not even a criticism of Secret of Monkey Island, because that happens like, again, I grew up playing King's Quest 6, it was Maniac Mansion. I feel like sometimes that's just like a point and click trope, is like, you just have to keep clicking until like, you know that like, if I could just type in what I want to say, I would be like, dude, all I have is 5,000. We know you're going to sell it to me for this. Let's go. But you can't. So it's clicking the options until you get through to find the right one. And I like that in some cases, like when you're fighting the pirate at the end of the game, it really doesn't matter what you click. Click whatever you think is funny and you're going to get to the end. Whereas when negotiations with that boat guy, it's like, well, if you don't find the right option, then it just you kind of get stonewalled. And the options are funny, but I think even the most diehard fan can agree. Like, it does get a little bit frustrating when you're like, for fuck's sakes, man, like, how much longer do we have to do this? Just sell me the fucking boat.
Yeah. I know I'm going to get it. You know, I'm going to get it.
Yeah. But
and it's not even like you can get multiple. There's only one boat you can obviously get. Like everything else is just, this is way out of your price range. This is,
Yeah. Agreed. Fortunately, I didn't find too many instances in the game where the dialogue kind of stonewalled me. Other the fucking sword fighting.
Yeah.
I love that system. The idea that if you've never played this game, to sword fight, you trade insults, and whoever burns the other one the most wins the sword fight. And it really is a funny system, and some of the comebacks and shit are very funny. But I
There's too
kept
many of
running
them
it.
for one.
Pardon me.
There's just way too many of them.
Well, yeah, there is. And I kept running into an issue where eventually you have to fight the sword master. And what you have to do is walk around the island fighting random pirates. And as you throw insults at them, if they come back with a good comeback, then that comeback gets added to your arsenal, I guess. And then eventually you go fight the sword master. And the key is to beat her with enough comebacks. And I don't know about I was bitching about it in the Discord and you. I kept running into a situation where I don't know if I just was doing something wrong or if it's just RNG. I could not get the pirates to give me comebacks to a couple of the I even looked them up because I was like, am I missing? Am I dumb? Do I have the comebacks? And it was like, no, I don't have the right comeback to these. But I could not get the pirates to give them up.
Yeah.
And it just feels like I love the concept of it. I just found the RNG of it a little bit annoying. That's all.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And I had better luck than you. And I know one of the tricks, and I think I mentioned to you at one point, but I would purposely lose an insult to keep a fight going if I wasn't getting more answers.
Yeah.
But it was definitely frustrating, and it was definitely I had two insults, I think, that it took me forever to get the response for.
Yeah, and you don't need all the responses. It's just that if you go up against the sword master, you need to hope that she doesn't throw the insults at you that you don't have the responses to.
Yeah.
And so many, because it's almost like it's almost like a reverse tug of war. When you're doing these sword fights, as you're if you land the right comebacks, your opponent backs up and you step toward them. And there was multiple times where I had her right against the wall, and then she'd throw one out that I was like, for fuck's sakes. And then it would all go off the rails again. And it was, again, I don't even really want to criticize it. I think I just got some bad RNG. I actually think it's an incredibly clever combat mechanic.
It really is, because it's not, one of the things I like about this game is it doesn't take any skill.
Agreed. 100%.
So it's a great way of doing an exciting sword fight without having to have that hand-eye coordination and get your timing and everything right. And the insults and the responses are funny as fuck.
They really are, yeah. And that's where I'd like to give it its flowers as well. And that's because I do have positive things to say about it. I respect immensely how much they were able to do with this game with nothing other than pointing and clicking. Like you said, it's not meant in an insulting way, but this game requires no skill from a reaction standpoint. And if you were to tell me to come up with a combat system, especially nowadays, I think it would probably just be a card game. Everything seems to be a card game now, but in 1990, it wasn't like that. And if you told me to come up with a sword fighting system that requires no reactionary time or skill, I don't know what I would have done. And they came up with an incredibly clever way to do it. The comebacks are really, I agree with you. Some of the comebacks are really funny. One of them, I think my favorite one was something along the lines of my sword skills and something are unmatched. And then the comeback is, I'd be in a lot of trouble if you started using them or something. And I don't know. It was I thought it was really funny. They genuinely made me chuckle. I just got irritated that I kept losing to the fucking swordmaster. And every time I'd lose, she'd go back in her fucking house, and then I'd have to walk away and then fucking walk. And I was just like, no, get back here and fight. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I finally just spammed saves. I was like, I saved right before the fight, and I was like, I'll just keep loading until I fucking beat you. So.
Yeah, in this particular case, I don't think that's big in it, because it's not like it takes any skill to get back to that point. It's just time consuming.
It's just the time consuming. And then it's funny because when you have to, once you finally get the boat and you need to recruit a crew, I knew right away, he's like, you need 3 people. And I was thinking the only people I can even think of are the hook hand guy, the sword master. It took me a minute to think of Otis, the prisoner. But then I realized because I thought actually it might be the old man from the item shop. And then I realized like, oh yeah, I forgot about Otis. I just had left him in there for so long. I forgot about the guy. But I was so excited to go get the Swordmaster. I was like, holy fuck, she's finally going to be on my side. And then you recruit them, and then you get out there on your ship, and then 3 of them just tell you to leave them the fuck alone or they'll throw you overboard. And they just want to suntan and read. And I was like, well, and that again made me laugh because I was like, for fuck's sakes, I was so excited to finally have you on my team. And you're the most useless bunch of fucks that ever fucked. God damn it.
Yeah, and the one time that they do show up on the island, it's just basically to say, "Hey, we're out of suntan lotion or margaritas or something."
Yeah, that was poor. What's his name? Guywood Three Brush.
Guybrush Threepwood or something like
Threepwood.
that.
Yeah, whatever the fuck his name. I'm gonna look it up. I can't remember his name.
It's a dumb name, and they hang a lantern on that. Like everybody that you talk to is like, that is certainly a name.
Yeah, it is. It's such a stupid name. That made me laugh. So, okay, listen, I know this one's all over the place, but I don't know what else to do with this fucking game. It is all over the place. Let's take a break here, and then we come back. I don't even know where we'll go, but that's how this game fucking works. You don't know what to do. We'll be back in a minute. All right. Is there anything was there a puzzle in the game that really stumped you? Like I mentioned putting the plants on the meat, but there were puzzles that stumped me a lot longer than that one.
The one that I struggled with was how to get the banana picker out of the cannibal hut.
Yeah, because the guy says he needs it, and then you find it, and then you can't get out with it. I spent way too much time trying to figure out a way to get that thing out of that hut before I realized they'll give it to you for the Q-tip. Or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, I got stuck there for a long time as well.
Yeah, and then...
Also, sorry, side note, how stupid, like, his banana picker is this giant mechanical 2-arm plier thing. Like, it's not just like a stick that you could reach up and knock the bananas down. At that point, I was coming to expect something that stupid from this fucking game. Yeah. Fucking banana picker.
But yeah, so there's that one. And like when you have to get the monkey to follow you, because you have to feed him like six bananas in different ways, and I could not find one of the bananas. So I'm like, I figured I know I have to get this monkey to follow me. And I'm like, he would do that and he would follow me for 2 steps and then back off. And I'm like, but like how the fuck do I get that?
Yeah. Well, because it doesn't say anything about having like when I found that monkey, I fed him the banana that I found on the beach when you first get there. And then I didn't think anything else of it. I just walked away. But when I realized you need the monkey, I never thought that you'd have to feed him like half a dozen fucking bananas. You know what I mean? Like I figured you'd give him one. I'm like, he's a stupid monkey. He'll fucking follow you. He had a banana, but that's a greedy fucking monkey.
Yeah.
And then only to be banished to have to hang off that totem pole for the rest of his life. Because he's there forever, that fucking poor monkey.
Yeah.
So,
but I think that there might have been something else. I used the hint feature in the game was actually really well done as well. And I don't know if it was only in the remake or if it was in the original as well. But like, if you clicked on it once, it kind of gave you a very vague hint. And the more you clicked on it, the more it would give you a very specific.
Sure. Yeah. Which is smart.
The
2, I'm embarrassed to admit it, but you know where I got stuck for the first time was maybe I'm just dense. I never thought to follow the old man to the Swordmaster.
Yeah.
Like I never, like he kept going to get her, and I just assumed the second he walks out of that store, the shop door, he's gone. And then when I finally found out you had to fall, I was almost ashamed for myself. Cause like most of the characters in this game, like they don't like, it's not like an active world where like when a pirate leaves the bar, you see him walking down the docks. Like once they're out of the screen, they're shut off from the game. I'm embarrassed that I never thought to follow that fucking guy to the store. I'm embarrassed of that I never thought to follow. And then when I finally realized it, I was like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Just follow him.
That one.
And then
one of the that did take me a little bit was when you have to use the grog to melt the prison bars. And you have to transfer from cup to cup.
Yes. I must have fucking lost that a dozen. I was save stating, like rushing from the bar to that prison. Cause it's so obvious you have to use this shit to melt the bars. But the cup kept melting before I got to the prison. And
Well, and
fuck.
the first time I tried to, I tried to combine the melting cup with one of the other cups, and it didn't do anything. So I'm like, okay, and then like it didn't even click in, and then I tried, I couldn't figure it out, and then I was just dicking around trying things, and like, oh, okay, I can move it. I don't know why it didn't work that one time, but
Yeah, I agree. Like my problem was that like I just kept assuming that I wasn't doing it fast enough.
yeah,
Like I
I
just,
did that a
you
few
know,
times, like especially like if you go in this door, you pop out of this other random door, and I'm like, okay, so you just have to make sure you get in and you click on it right away, and
yeah, same. And then yeah, finally I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Like I'm so dumb. I even tried like pouring it into like the pot and like trying all these. And then finally I was like, just use a second mug, you stupid bastard.
yeah, especially
But
because you could pick up like 7 mugs.
yeah, right. And I'm, dude, I'm so embarrassed. I even had multiple mugs.
Yeah.
And I still never thought to just pour it into a different fuck. Sometimes and those are the ones where I wasn't even mad. Those were the ones where I was mad at myself because I was like, the solution
Yeah.
is right there.
Yeah.
It's
And
right
like
there.
this is clever, and I'm more mad that I didn't think of it.
Yes, exactly. It's like I love doing escape rooms, and
Yeah.
I will lose an escape room before I ask for a hint. But when we do it with Ben, he loves escape rooms. He'll go to a hint pretty quickly, and I'm always like frustrated because I don't want to ask for a hint, even though I know at some point we're wasting our money. We should probably ask. But is it just me, or like when you ask for a hint and then they come in and give it to you, and you're like, it was fucking right there, and you're
That's
more
the worst.
ashamed of yourself.
Yeah. When they give, they tell me a hint or something, and I'm like, I never would have thought of that. I don't feel so bad. But yeah, when they tell you something and it's just, oh, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, you bozo.
Yeah.
So that one. And then the other, where I got stuck was going to the catacombs with the head. And you have to like hold the head up and it'll turn and tell you which way to go next through the
Yeah.
catacombs. Multiple, and this was on me, but multiple times it would be trying to get me to go into like a cave at the back of the screen. And so it would like turn right, turn left, turn right, turn left. And I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, is there like a treasure here I'm supposed to dig up or something? And then finally I realized like, oh, it's trying to tell, because it wouldn't look back at the door in the back of the screen. It would just look at left or right, whatever side of it I was on.
Yeah.
And that's me again. But I was just like, once I was like, fuck you, bozo,
I
go
don't
to the
think that's
back.
entirely you. I think that was a great idea that wasn't fully polished.
Yeah.
There's a few things I think like near the end of the game that I think they were running out of time and didn't get that second polish like the stuff in the first half.
I felt that way as well. And we mentioned that earlier that like I really think the funnest part of this game is like I thought Melee Island was really good. And I think like you said, part of it was just you could go to the circus, you could go to the village, you could go to the boat shop, you could go to the guy that the guy that teaches you how to sword fight with that stupid fucking Homer Simpson-esque robot that he's built. That was pretty funny too, actually.
Yeah.
I liked that. Like there was so many
bums on the 3 bums on the corner and the rat.
Yeah. Like there was so many stupid things you could do. And then even the boat, like when it got to like, cause it's broken into like part 1, part 2, part 3. And when you get to part 2 and you're out on the boat, I was thinking like, all right, we're on for another part 2 is over in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I'm not saying that's what it was, but it did. And it's far from the only game that's done this, but it felt like they had ambitions for the game. And then by the third act, they were like, hey, we got to get. It just didn't feel the same. I don't know. I really didn't enjoy the Monkey Island part as much as Melee. It was like it felt like a different game almost.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's definitely one of the weaknesses I have. And I remember thinking that as a kid. And then I'm like, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. And then I remember the thing now.
Yeah,
but
because Melee Island shined. There was just so much, so much. It felt like it had so much personality. And the other thing you have to remember too is like I guess like Monkey Island is not this inhabited island of people. Like there's the pirate there, Rot Tooth or Tooth Rot or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
And then the cannibals and then the monkeys. Like I understand that there's not as much going on this island, but it just felt lacking. It felt lacking personality compared to the first
especially
part.
because like to get anywhere there, you've got to do a lot more, like a lot of clicky walking or canoeing around. And
yeah. And again, like I mentioned when I was trying to find the fort, I didn't find it as easy to find everything in that one. Like as I did in the on Melee Island.
Yeah.
just not as easy to stumble my way through. So,
So, but
some of the
the
other things. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the boat part, like it's one of the shorter parts, but I really enjoyed that too.
Same.
The obvious reference to Captain Crunch was my favorite.
Right? I got that as well. Also,
Yeah.
another one that I fucking got stuck on forever. I don't know why, after playing this game for like 5 hours, did I not think to open the box of cereal. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
And
Totally
then
forgot about that till you just said that. I'm like, yeah,
when you open it, you're like, of course there's a prize. But like,
yeah,
I feel like that's something that like in 1990, I would have been like, I wonder if there's a prize in this cereal. I don't
yeah.
eat
But in
cereal. I don't even know.
1990, when you're a kid, there was prizes in cereal. There's
I
not
know.
any.
I don't even like, yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, I don't eat cereal anymore. Are there even prizes in cereal anymore?
Not that I know of. You get
Uh,
you might have the, scan this, or get your parents to scan this code and,
yeah,
go to the
man.
website, tell us your parents' credit card number. And
Bygone era. I want to just shout out as well. My favorite prize I ever got out of a cereal box was actually a Captain Crunch water shooter, and it was like the captain holding his pirate hat, and it just had it was like a plastic thing you with a hole in the top, and all you do is put your 2 fingers on either side of his hat and push it down, and you squish them, and it would squirt water. And my brother and I would play those things for it. Shout out Captain Crunch. Shout out to Captain
I
Crunch.
love Captain Crunch.
Yeah, delicious. It does cut
Yeah.
the roof of your mouth,
Yeah, whatever. Then
but
you're
it's
a wuss.
delicious. Also, like when you have to make the recipe, because you find the recipe on the ship, and
Yeah.
I thought maybe the cleverest puzzle in the game was working your way through that recipe and trying to decipher like what can I use that will replace this ingredient.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was all really clever. I
The
didn't
whole
find
boat
it
was great.
particularly hard because it's okay. For the most part, it's okay. These are all the items I have. I'm just gonna add. There's a few extraneous things, but not that many.
No, same. And I didn't find it that hard either because at the end of the day, like it's you can't lose.
Yeah,
Which I'm on the like. That's something I'm really on the fence because, like, when you try to bake the recipe on the when you try to make the soup on the ship, if you try to add something that doesn't go, he just won't put it in the pot. And I'm really conflicted because part of me is like, that's nice because now I can solve the puzzle without accidentally fucking up and losing a bunch of progress. But on the other hand, I was like, the challenge is kind of gone. I just add everything in my inventory until I make the soup. And I don't know what I'd prefer. I don't know.
I
Like,
mean, what they could have done is just if you do the recipe wrong, he makes soup. He's like, well, that soup wasn't great, and then you just
yeah,
have to start over.
yeah.
And you would have kind of had the best of both worlds. But yeah, but it's like there's 8 ingredients in here, and I have 9 items in my inventory. Gee, I wonder what I need to do.
Yeah. I think the cleverest one was it calls for a human skull and you put the pirate flag in.
Yeah,
That's so it's literally tastes nothing like a skull. It's just a piece of cloth with a pirate skull with a skull drawn on it. But
yeah, the Jolly Roger.
I agree. I thought the boat was actually really, really cool, and I was disappointed that it was so short. Like the whole thing
Yeah.
is basically making this recipe, and then I did love the idea of to get to the island, it's a callback of putting the pot on your head and shooting yourself out of the cannon again.
Yeah, same here.
That was
This
I thought
game
that was
has
very fun.
this game has a bunch of like little runners throughout. There's like, they constantly joke about a 3-headed monkey, and then, it actually does show up. There's that one. The rubber chicken with a pulley.
Then everybody's like, I already have one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that was funny.
how is there an entire shop about a rubber chicken with a pulley?
Yeah, I also liked the troll that was blocking the. Oh, that's what you need the fish for. Is the
Yeah.
troll that's blocking the bridge. As
Yeah.
I like that when you finally, man, I got stuck there for so long because I was like, I have offered this man everything I could fucking find, and then that was why I was trying to get that fish away from that bird. It wasn't that I deduced like fucking Sherlock Holmes that this troll would eat fish. I was like, I can't find anything else on this fucking island I could pick up. And then when I finally figured out how to get that fish, I was like, this has to be it. And then I give it to the troll, and then the troll like unzips its costume, but it's just like a guy.
Yeah.
And he fucking eats the whole fish and then zips his costume back up.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I thought that troll would kill you because he makes it sound like he will. And it kept giving me did you ever play King's Quest 6?
I played one of them at your house as a kid, but
Okay.
I don't remember if it was that one or not.
There's a part, I guess, minor spoiler for fucking King's Quest 6 for anyone that's like, oh, I wanted to play that still. There's a part in King's Quest 6 where there's these 5, you go to this island and there's these 5 gnomes and each one has like one really good sense or something like that. And like one can only see, one can only smell, and you have to fool all 5 of them into thinking you're not who you are. And if you mess up and offer them the wrong item to fool them, they like throw you in the water and you drown, or because you can die in King's Quest 6. Yeah. And that gives me like, to this day, thinking about that part of King's Quest 6 gives me like fucking PTSD. And so at first I was like saving every time I offered an item to this troll because I was like, fuck, he's gonna kill me like those fucking gnomes did. And then finally I realized that like, oh no, this game won't hurt you. But that it really made me laugh that he fucking unzips his costume and it's just some fucking guy, and it's just some guy who wants to eat this old fish. It's fucking so. I remember how we got on this now, but it's so. Oh yeah, because we were talking about some of the stupid, like that stupid chicken pulley. Yeah, and yeah, through the whole. I don't even understand that. Like, why is that even a thing? That there's a fucking a pulley wheel inside of a apparently real chicken or something.
A rubber chicken.
Yeah. And like
rubber chicken with a pulley wheel, and I'm like that just and it's played off as dumb as it sounds. It's just like, yeah, so everybody on the island is like, oh, I already got one of those.
Yeah. Some of the stupid humor is where it's like when you first get into the mansion and then you're like there's like a 30-second cutscene where you're like picking up items and using items and just fighting behind this wall, and it just goes fucking forever. You end up with like I don't remember if I ever figured out what the staple remover was for.
It's I don't think it's for anything, because I don't think you actually used it for anything.
I can't remember using it for anything. They just gave him to me.
But it's going, they go, the fight's going on behind the scenes, and it's just, picks up chair, uses chair.
At one point you get thrown through the wall and then he just gets up and like dives right back in again. It was so stupid, but it made me multiple times. This game made me laugh out loud. It was so dumb. Fuck, I don't remember. There was something else. I know this episode has been all over the map, but like if you've played this game, it is
it's fitting for the game.
That's what this game is. It's just all over the fucking. It's just so random, and it's a. I mean this compliment, but like it is such a clever but stupid fucking game.
Yeah,
it is so stupid.
Yeah,
but the stupidity. I thought the humor was the highlight of the game.
Oh, for sure.
It really is so dumb. Even the idea that like, I like at the very end when you get back to Melee Island and you need to break up the wedding and you come rushing in and then the governor just like shows up, and the governor wasn't even there marrying the pirate in the first place. And then you go to fight the pirate, and cause you've got the root beer, and you go to fight Leclerc, the pirate, with the root beer, and then it's clogged. And then Guybrush is like, well, we could talk about this. And then the pirate does the giant wind up punch. Yeah. And then it cuts out to the island and you just see Guybrush like flying up into the air and landing, and then up into the air and landing. That made me chuckle too. Like it's funny. There's some genuinely good humor in this fucking game.
Yeah. Honestly, the game is absolutely worth playing. Just, I mean, if you don't feel like dicking around, just get a guide and go through it, and hope you have better luck with the pirate.
I agree.
But it, I mean, like Adam said, it's, if you know what you're doing, it's maybe 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, it's not like, I'll be honest, like I said off the top when we started talking about this, not my first choice, like not the type of game that I insist on playing, but it is absolutely one of those ones that, like, I don't even say I hated it. At the end of the day, you know what my biggest criticism of this game, and I think it's just the genre at this point in my life. Like, I just found it kind of boring. It's not. It's not broken. It's not like Metal Gear Solid, to call back to like another game people love that I don't like. Like, I don't think they're boring. I just don't enjoy what that game. Like, I don't like those games.
Yeah.
This one, it's not that I think it's bad. I actually think, especially considering it's 35 years old, it's incredibly well done. It's charming. It's good to look at. The soundtrack, by the way, is really...
The soundtrack is really good.
Really good. It does... there were times where I had to like take my headphones off just because I was walking around the same area for so long. I got sick of listening to the same songs. But the soundtrack is really good. The writing is spot on. It's a very clever game, especially for a game as old as it is. It's just a genre that I don't particularly like the walking around randomly clicking on things and hoping to eventually crack the code just wears its welcome out with me after a while.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I agree with you. Like I understand why it's on so many lists of like the greatest games ever made. I do think because I know there are other like is Day of the Tentacle a point and click?
Yep.
I know people have been on me to do that one. You have been. And I probably will at some point, but like I said it on social media when I was playing this. I honestly think part of the secret ingredient for these games is nostalgia. And I
there's
don't
definitely a bit of that.
Like Maniac Mansion hit harder with me, and that's because I was like, I remember doing this when I was a kid and like microwaving the hamster and all these stupid things. Whereas this one, I'm like, I had no memories of playing this one before, and I was like, this is fun. I think if I had played this when I was a little kid, I'd adore it because I would have had so many countless hours of just walking around, laughing at stupid things that the computer says and stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to beat it on a schedule to get ready for an episode. There were times where it was like, I either cannot for the life of me figure out what to do, or I can see what I need to do and I just can't get it to do it. And it would start to wear on my patience after a while. So, but overall it's charming. It's funny. I'm a little surprised. I mean, unless we're wrong, and if we are, I'm sure I'll get enough fucking messages to tell me. But I'm a little surprised that there's not more like endings and more paths through it.
I think that I was gonna say I think that was a product of the time, but Maniac Mansion is older and it has that.
Yeah.
So,
but
I mean, you could do a Maniac Mansion run in 30 minutes easy.
Yeah, and I will say I think they're both point and clicks. What were we talking about on the show? Oh, by the time you guys are hearing this, the Rocket Knight Adventures episode will have gone live. We did a comparison, like I compared it to Super Mario World. Have you played Rocket Knight Adventures, by the way, on the Genesis?
No, I looked at it a bit. I played it for like maybe 5 minutes once. I watched you when you were streaming it the one day.
Okay, it's fucking awesome, by the way. It's fucking awesome game. But like, it's a platformer like Mario World. But I was like, Mario World's got 90 some levels, but they're all kind of the same. Rocket Knight Adventures has 7 levels, but they're all super deep and polished, and there's a lot of variety to it. And I think when you compare like Maniac Mansion to Secret of Monkey Island, I personally prefer the variety, the character selection, the multiple endings, the multiple paths of Maniac Mansion. I feel like Maniac Mansion isn't, it doesn't corner you like Secret of Monkey Island does. There's multiple ways to get out of situations, where in Monkey Island, it's like, you better figure out this puzzle because that's the only way through. But I will say, I think the writing, and because Secret of Monkey Island has one basic path through, it's able to polish and expand on that path more. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense to me. I hope it does to everybody else, but you're very right with that too. It's, they went, okay, like, we have our one road, we can at least make it a good road and not, we have to make 12 roads.
Yeah. Very funny. I'll give it that. Even if you're like, I will say, like, if you get, like, I agree with Daniel. I think I'll sit here and say, like, I don't think you can recommend it to everybody because I don't think point and clicks will do it for everyone, but I do think it's worth trying for everybody. And if you're like, I'm getting frustrated with this and it's starting to irritate me, maybe it's not for you. Or else if you use a walkthrough, you could beat this game incredibly quickly. And some of the humor in this game is worth, it's worth watching. Like even right at the end, when Leclerc is beating the shit out of you and you toss you around the island and you end up back at fucking that sleazy
stand still
fucking
use boats.
Stan's used boats, and then Stan tries to talk to Leclerc and he's like not having it at all. And then you fall out of the pop machine or whatever the fuck. And that was
that was one of the which I mentioned it earlier. This game has so many things that will call back to something earlier in the game, and that pop machine was my favorite because you can use one of your coins that you get from, I think, selling something to the store guy to buy a pop, and it doesn't work. And he's like, well, I'm not doing that again. And I don't, like, if that had just been the joke that there was a pop machine that ripped you off, it would have been fine. But the fact that it pays off again later.
Yeah, I agree. That was really clever. I love the idea that you buy the boat with a loan note from the store, the old man in the shop.
The store clerk, yeah.
But I love that you basically just break into his safe, take the note that just says, it says something along the lines of like, I, the store owner, vouch for whoever has this to pay. Like, and it's the idea that if this got stolen from him, like there's no signing of a contract or anything. You're like, here. It's like, it's his problem now. Like you have no intention of paying this boat off or anything. You've basically just ruined this store clerk's life by buying this boat with his money. And I love that you keep stealing shit from him. And every time he sees you, he calls you a thief. But then you can ask him to like go to the Swordmaster again, and he's like, mumble, and he leaves again and again. And the humor is great. Funny game, charming. Yeah. It's just, I don't know, little tedious for my palate. That's all.
Yeah, not for Adam game, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we'd gotten the. They were going to do an animated movie for this, I believe, and it got canceled.
Oh, I think this could make for a very funny.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great characters on this island.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot of fun. I like too. Sorry, we're going to wrap this up in a minute, but I liked when you would talk to like, I wish there were more scenes where when you would talk to someone, it would do that like close up of their face dialogue.
Yeah.
I really liked those. And I gave them a little bit of extra character, and I wish there had been more of those.
Yeah, well, especially because, like, when you first start the game and you can go into the bar and it's like there's 3 or 4 characters in the bar that have that. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, it's going to be like this for everything. And then it's not for a while.
But again, like, I'm not saying it's what it is, but like it almost felt like the first third half of the game, they were like all these ambitions, and then they kind of were like, fuck, we got to get this thing done. Yeah. Like the last half just doesn't feel as polished as the first half does. So, but it's good. Do we miss anything? Are you good?
I think I'm good. I'm sure there's stuff we missed, but
Oh yeah.
This means somebody's going to have to go and play the game to find it.
Oh, sorry. One last thing. As soon as I got the key to the giant monkey head and I saw that it was a Q-tip, I was like, that's pretty sharp. And then you stick it into the fucking monkey's ear. And that's how you open it. Stupid thing, but that's good shit. I like it.
Yeah.
Fuck. How the fuck do we score this thing? I mean, it came out in 1990. That's kind of a lame way to score. 9 and newer.
I mean, there's 3 tasks to become a pirate, but that's a little too low.
Yeah, 3 is too low. Fuck. I don't. Okay. You pay 5,000. What's the money called in this game? Eyes of 8, or pieces of 8?
Pieces of 8. Pieces of 8. Yeah.
What is that? Is that like, was that actual like a currency back in the day? Like, is that like gold or something?
I think so. Yeah.
I've never heard that before. Pieces of 8. All right. Let's score it out of 5,000 pieces of 8.
All right.
So
how much are you paying to buy the vote of Secret of Monkey Island?
Oh, wait. Sorry. Just one thing here. I Googled it. Cutting money was not illegal back then like it is now. In fact, it was expected that to make change, they would literally cut the coins into 8 pieces or bits. Hence, the British called the Spanish dollar a piece of 8. When they said something cost 2 bits, it meant it cost $0.25. Huh.
Oh, shit.
That's wild. All right. You imagine that now?
Why 25 cents was 2 bits?
Like, imagine if now, like, if something was $10, you could just rip a 20 in half and give them. I mean, you can't Canada because our monopoly money is plastic, but like real money, you could like rip it in half and like, there it is, $10. That'd
be not with that attitude.
That'd be so funny. Like, because then it would just be like, buddy, that is not a $5 piece of a 20. You're like, fuck you. Yes, it is. And argue about how much. Like, you have to like start weighing it. Anyways, I'm an idiot. I'm going off on a tangent. I learned something today about pieces of 8. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. All right. So out of 5,000 pieces of 8, how many pieces of 8 would you give The Secret of Monkey Island?
About 4,200. Let's go 42. The humor is there. The characters are fun. There's a lot of clever things, but there are pieces that are tedium. The pixel hunting when you're trying to click on something definitely takes a bit away.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'll give it. This one's tough because I respect its legacy, but I don't like. I'll give it 3,000 out of 5,000. I give it like a 6 out of 10. It's fine. It's good for what it does. I will honestly just say now I prefer Maniac Mansion. I don't know if that's a hot take, but just preference. I think Maniac Mansion is more fun. I like the variety better and the setting better, but it's a charming little game, especially if you have like kids to play it with. I really think kids would be the formula for this. Like, either playing it as a kid or playing it with a kid and letting a kid just fuck around and click on things and like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Give
Go
it a shot
with your kids and let them show their mom all the insults they learned from the pirates.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't think there's anything in here that really like crosses the line. It's a pretty PG game. It's pretty PG.
Yeah.
I once owned a dog, or I once had a dog like you. He must have taught you everything you know, or something. Like stupid fucking comebacks. Yeah, I'll give it 3,000 out of 5,000. It's fine. We're good, buddy. What if people want to? Would you stream this? What do you shut up? Do you think? I was trying so hard to come up with like a clever way to like segue to you, but I got nothing. Go ahead. What do you got?
I have started streaming more on Twitch. Stupid Monkey, STPD_MNKY. I'm allergic to vowels. Usually I get on 2 or 3 times a week in the mornings. I just bounce to usually whatever game I'm playing right now. I did Dead Space remake. I'm doing Phoenix Rising, which came out about the same time as Breath of the Wild, and got a lot of, I think, uncalled for bad comparisons. But just come, laugh at me, watch me die.
Phoenix Rising did get, everybody just said that. I never played it. Shaylee played it quite a bit. I never played it, but like, you can find a review of that game that doesn't say it's like Wish.com Breath of the Wild.
It's not like it's you travel an area and it's got little mini things in it, but that's about it. Like the gameplay is not the same at all.
I think part of its problem, if I'm not mistaken, is that's a Ubisoft game, isn't it?
I was gonna say it's a Ubisoft game, so you can get it for like $5.
Yeah, Ubisoft. Like I was talking about, I can't remember which episode of the show we were talking about this. We've been doing a lot of recordings lately, but like Ubisoft really has, at one point, they were a fairly respected studio. And I really think they've become kind of a punchline of the industry.
They are, but they still come out with, we have 400 Assassin's Creed games because they keep doing really well. We have,
they keep selling.
They can keep coming out with all these games and have them go for sale for $5. And they're still around, whereas we get other studios that make amazing games, but they make one game and then they're out.
I think the problem with Ubisoft was like, when Assassin's Creed was new, everybody was like, holy shit. Far Cry 3, everybody was like, wow. And then they just kept like right-click, save as, and releasing it as like another game and another game. You know what I mean? Like I think it's
absolutely.
They've very much become a quantity over quality studio, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a unique IP, so
Yep, it is.
But it's got microtransactions if you want, but they're not required for anything.
Sure. And is there any pointing and clicking?
There is no pointing and clicking.
No pointing and clicking. For all of you that are wondering when there'll be another point and click episode of this show, I don't know. Someday. I really would. You know what I would like to do? I know you keep saying Day of the Tentacle is good, and I'd really like to do Zach McCracken eventually.
Zach McCracken, I would like, just because I haven't touched that game in 35 years since we were kids.
Same.
I'd love to go back to it, and it's not even all that expensive on Steam.
Yeah.
There's a couple other ones I think would be a bit closer to your appeal, but Zach McCracken I think was definitely, because you get that nostalgia boost, which I think you especially would need for this style of game.
So we'll do another one eventually, but I'm going to be honest. Like I'm pointed and clicked out for now. Yeah, I have other things to do. Daniel, thanks for taking time out of your, what is today? Thursday morning to talk about the unknown. Sorry. One last thing. I think it's funny that the TM shows up every time they talk about the island. Like in the text, it always has that little trademark.
Yeah, it always has the trademark.
I like that. Thank you for talking with me about the unknown secret of Monkey Island. I wonder what this fucking secret is.
You'll have to play all the games to find out.
No. No. And that is going to do it for this week's episode. Monkey, thank you so much for giving me a call and talking a little secret of Monkey Island. Every one of you listeners listening to this, whether this was your first Remember the Game or your 321st. Holy fuck. Dude, I was recording The Rambling Idiot today and I realized the show turns 7 this summer. And I was like, holy fuck. It's like the fucking 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. It's almost a sixth of my life I've spent talking about old video games on the internet. And you're here for it. Thank you. Yeah, you beautiful bastards. Appreciate you listening to the show. If you liked it, leave us a good review. Hey, leave us a 5-star review somewhere. I don't know what they accomplished, but they're nice to read. And like, even on Spotify, like our rating has dropped a little bit to 4.6, presumably because of the Alien Isolation episode. I don't know. Bump us back up, would you? Fucking those are rookie numbers. Get those 5 stars in there. We'd really appreciate it. Consider signing up for our Patreon if you want more of these. It's a great month to do it. The Blankies go live tomorrow. And then February, you're voting every day for the 2025 Pre-March Madness Patreon poll tournament extravaganza. It's going to be awesome. And I don't know, helps us keep the bills on and I buy things with it. And that's fun. So appreciate it. Patreon.com/remember the game. I'm getting out of here. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. I'm going to thank some patrons and sign off. Don't forget the Blankies tomorrow. Enjoy it. Find out what wins the 2024 Molly for the game of the year. Enjoy it. I was going to say enjoy the podcast. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. God, I suck at this. I'm leaving. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. I could not puke up all the content I churn out every week without all of your support. I'm choking on my own rage here. I'm not even editing this out. I'm just going to drink some water. Just give me fucking hold on. All right? The following people are the senior executive vice president level or higher on the old Patreon box, and as such, I am contractually obligated to thank them as quickly as I possibly can. So in alphabetical order based on the email address attached to your account, a huge thank you to Remember the Game Hall of Famer Slick Motherfucking Rick, Tyler, Doogie Bowser MD, AB Killin, Just a Fish, Adam Martinet, a dude named Adam, Akiris Network, A-Town, Infinity Rage, Alex R, Itchy Nutsuru, Andy Hudson, Tornado, Dave Thompson, Toby OP, Dude Where's My Game, Pee-wee Squitters, Andrew Wright, Benjamin Atkins, Zamatos, Brandon DeZeba, Eldest Millennial, Legendberry, Hago Waffle, Dan of Dissect That Film, Biddy, Nerdy Hybrid, Nordak, Blobby Rogers, B Money, Matt Babineau, General Fury, High Plains Drifter, Elijah Burns, Roger Stawbox Pool Cleaner. Fucking stupid names are cutting off. Stupid fucking dude. Every time I export the list of patrons to do these shoutouts, it doesn't go into Excel. It goes into the stupid numbers, which is basically I think like Apple's Excel, and it fucking sucks. Anyways. Where were we here? Roger Stawbox Pool Cleaner, Bula, Burt Macklin, Hitchy Poo, Cody Thompson, Munkyle, Adam Blank still hasn't reviewed Mario Galaxy, Dino Plan, Chris Fleury, Chaz Hammond, Chris Hill isn't scared, that could be anyone's ass. Triple, Makeshift Mellow Magic Money, Christian Gabriel, Christopher Britt, Drugs are bad, okay. Spider Cat, Jay Rodimus Prime, Cody Richardson, The Fletchman, Juris Dr. Mario, Robbie Air, Cesar, Combo Chuck, Fallen Snow Kiku, Archangel Otaku, Archangel Otaku, Daniel. Fuck, I suck at my job. Darbles, Thunderleaps, Decoy Man, The Supreme Choserizo, Carbon Fiber Zombie, Doug Dorn, David Schroeder, Scotty McGee, Joe the Sandman, MacGyver88, Super Jess, ID Yellow, Eric Hopewell, please refrain from tasting the knob, E-Man Trucker, Big the Cat, Leroy Jenkins, Confused but Still Here, Grallywog, Little Bunny Fufu89, VOS Rager, Graham Kennedy, G9PSX, Fancy Store-Bought Dirt, Maverick Marty, Jameer Williams, Diablo Spartan, Fill Up My Mouth with Empty Poos, Faded Sufferance, Holmes, Liquor Like Luigi, Phil Lencher, Isaias, James R. Francesco, It's That Nerd James, Sharotic, Max Lagroom, John of the Adult Children Podcast, Can't Destroy Her, Jake Carter, Nothing Could Possibly Go Wrong, J Nasty 15, The Big Deal, Jay Callahan, Rest in Peace Koopalings, Beaver Boy, Laces Out Dan, Johnny from Virginia, Oroku Saki's Gardener, Chugger 22, Jordan, Jeff Bergeron, Stud Still Smash, Rated Excellent, No One Cares, Too Much Karma, Justin Blair, Jinxie 425, Fill Up My Mouth with Farts, Alexander Camps, I Like Jorts, They're comfy and easy to wear, Kevin Kellums, My Left Nut, Kevin Monroe, Marcus Mendoza, Ryan Kinchin, Postman, Aaron Lawson, Leo, Gabe, Mark Sneed, Lucas Shaman, Leroy Westrich, Mikey Hay, Angry Ticks, Alex McIntyre, Put It in H, Savage Boosh. I gotta say, when I go out of alphabetical order, this is so much harder. Holy Jesus. Savage Boosh, Lord Salazar, Just Car Pranks, Beef Dingleberry, McCracken, Adam's former assistant, Standard Ass Brian, Zonko 504, Morgan, JSK Fusick, Maverick, Nick Creature, Musty Beetle, Elephant Calves, Donnie the Dude Walter, Wilco, Frosty Bear, Lord Palmerston, Ryan Perry, Wimp 15, Daddy Secret Little Chubby, Plow King, Alex Ramos, Randy Barrage, Horrorostalgia, a podcast. S. Big Daddy Randall, Titan 420, Brian Richmond, Monster SD Boner, Why the Surgeon Who's Not a Surgeon Row, Madam Nutsitch, Ryan Donahue, Squeaknut, Sabin, Mercury 869, Max Sandin, Sam Carpenter, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Scott Brooks, Captain Asbury Juice, Steve Dulk, Shank the Rat-Faced Bastard, Zen Paladin, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Super Saiyan Safarioth, DBXJ, Shoeboxers, Jimothy, Sour Goat Face. Not to be confused with Shower Goat Face, which again, on my OnlyFans. Squints, Ryan Stemmerding, Haywood, You Cuddle Me. I got it. Ted Explosion, no. Scary Terry, Deep Air 87, Mike Maloney, Tadpole, Thomas Smith, Theodore, Botfucker, Timothy Sabrinsky, Doogie, Youngster TK, Beers of War, Fuzzy 99, Quiet Place Queen, Travis Sanders, Mr. Jabroni, Conebread. I uncanceled my Netflix to watch wrestling. Fucking nice. Ace McGuy, Because 19, Penguin Milk, Wolf Magic 21, Longlord, Long Rod Body, Eugene the Second, Ryan Whitcomb, John Woodruff, Rush's Dog Walker, Works for Me, Dean Donian, Wolfgang Darren, Earl, Darth Skywalter, Kia Pup, Mizuru, Joe Buck, Zane Donovan, Zach Shepard, and Matt Zeus. Not bad. Not great. Not bad. I'll take it. I give that round of shutouts a B. But the scale goes to S, so it's like a C. Yes.